You notice it slowly at first. A friend laughs at something you said, but there is a sting in their tone. A compliment arrives late, wrapped in a lesson, and you leave thinking you did something wrong. You might relate if you have ever left a conversation feeling smaller, confused, or suddenly apologetic for simply existing. This person seems warm to other people. In private, they nitpick, they rewrite small moments, they suggest you are too sensitive. Sometimes they act kind. Other times they erase the kindness with quiet corrections that make you doubt how honest your memory is. There is a rhythm to it. You wait for approval, you give more, and you start checking your own facts. They show up as the friend who remembers the right details at the right time, the one who knows your secrets, the one who can make a room smile. At first, they are your ally. You spend nights laughing over messages, trading plans, and sharing dreams. The tone shifts slowly. A joke turns into a correction. A memory becomes their version of events. When you push back, they call you dramatic, or they say you are reading things into nothing. They watch your reactions, they test boundaries with tiny nudges, and they notice what makes you seek their approval. In a cafe, they tilt their head and ask a question that feels casual, but it reframes your story. On a group chat, they rewrite a shared memory, leaving you to adjust. Your body remembers shame before your mind catches up. You might relate if you have replayed a message at midnight, trying to decide if you overreacted. This is gaslighting in friendship, not as a headline, but as a steady editing of your reality. It is not always loud. Often it is a series of small corrections, a pattern that teaches you to doubt the accuracy of your view. They point out flaws, then offer comfort when you agree. They redirect blame, then show loyalty when you relent. Over time, you learn to look outward for proof rather than trust the feel of your own memory. Psychologically, this works because you want belonging and loyalty. Repetition changes belief. Meanings shift. A phrase they repeat becomes a rule you follow. It is easier to accept the version that causes less conflict because conflict hurts. Choosing peace in the short term feels like wisdom, even if it costs clarity in the long run. There is an inner negotiation that happens quietly. You weigh the cost of standing up against the cost of staying. You imagine the fallout. Will you be cut off from mutual friends? Will you be tagged in memories that feel tainted? Will you be the one who breaks the rhythm of the group? Fear of social loss is powerful. It is not vanity. It is a calculation based on how much your life is woven with theirs. You might relate if you have stayed in a small conflict because the alternative felt lonelier. Notice also how they offer small rewards. A compliment after a correction, a public praise that restores your status, a thoughtful text that makes you forget the earlier sting. These rewards are precise. They make forgiveness feel like a choice you made freely. Over time, the pattern cycles: critique, doubt, repair, relief, repeat. The repairs convince you their presence matters. The repairs also teach you that peace comes from compliance, and that is the trap. Friends who gaslight often mirror you, naming your strengths when it helps, and highlighting mistakes when it keeps you small. They create a private narrative where you are the one who misinterprets, and they appear as the calm reporter of facts. This plays on your desire to be seen accurately. When you bring evidence, they frame it as sensitivity, or poor memory, or even humor. The goal is not always to win an argument. Sometimes the goal is to steer the story and to keep you seeking reassurance. There is another layer, the one that ties back to loyalty. Many people stay because attachment is not only emotional, it is practical. They are friends from college, they share work contacts, they are the person who covers shifts, who knows your family, who laughs at your old jokes. Cutting ties feels like a loss that requires logistics. Emotional loyalty can blur with dependency. You forgive because they have shown you care in other times. You stay because separation feels expensive. But staying is also a story of hope. You believe people can change. You remember times when they were tender. You wait for that tenderness to return. That hope keeps you trying new boundaries, explaining, seeking therapy, reading articles, searching for meaning. The work often falls on you. You test explanations, you rehearse conversations, you learn to be careful with language. Sometimes the person improves, other times the pattern quietly returns. Think about late-night messages that are deleted, the way a voice note changes tone when replayed, a caption that leaves you puzzled. In workplaces or roommates, they gaslight with small exclusions, a meeting left uninvited, a group text that moves on without you. These daily moments accumulate, they shape how you enter the next conversation. When you set boundaries or leave, the process is messy. Apologies may come and patterns can return. The grief is real, and courage looks like reclaiming memory and trusting yourself again. In the end, gaslighting in friendship is a study in small violences. It is not always dramatic, yet it reshapes the way you meet the world. It teaches you to check in with yourself, to notice the pattern of being minimized, to test your memory against neutral facts, and to ask for outside perspective when your mind feels tilted. When someone edits small details of your life, they change how you trust yourself. That is the cost. You might relate if you have checked a message to prove your memory, or if you have waited for someone to name what you felt. Seeing the pattern is not blame. It is a tool. It lets you practice different responses, to gather simple evidence, and to ask for clarity. You can keep notes, test conversations with friends, and create distance when the behavior repeats. Staying from loyalty is understandable. Leaving can be messy. The choice is not a failure, it is a boundary. Growth looks like small, steady acts, not drama. It looks like trusting small facts again. Picture a mirror with a thin film on it, then imagine wiping it clean. That slow polishing is memory, witness, and the courage to let your own story stand. If you are doubting now, try asking one trusted person for perspective, or write the exact exchange down and date it. Start with a small test. Today, your memory matters.